Welcome to my latest book haul. This might be a little bit of a long one. I'm going to try and keep it short, but we have like 38 books to get through. I decided to one day last week. Weather was actually like fairly decent. We have 4 half-price books in my town. 2 of them I had never been to. Um, and so I just decided to drive all the way around the city and go to each one. So this is my haul from visiting those stores. And then I have a couple of books from Book Outlet. I did get I was about to say my latest order from them, but it's not my latest order. I have other orders coming. I have a bit of a problem. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it. So first off, we have Crush, Cherish, and Crave. I have not read this series. um, it's been kind of on my radar, but there's quite a few books in the series, and I didn't want to just buy them outright. I didn't even really want to buy them. They're normally on sale for like, I don't know, 10-ish bucks. I didn't even want to spend that much on them just because like I don't know that I'm going to like them. I just kind of there were other books to get first. They were not a high priority. However, these all 3 of these, you can kind of tell with the pages there. This one, Cherish, is especially bad. Sorry, I'm going to hit my mic a bunch. Um, They were all on clearance for $4 a piece because, the pages are just messed up. Which I am assuming that there's not going to be any actual issue with like the content. All the pages are there in an order. We'll find out, I guess, if I ever eventually get to that series. But yeah, so that's what we're starting off with. This is another one, The Lady Rogue, Jen Bennett. I hadn't heard about it. But it was also on clearance, and so for like $3 or $4, why the heck not? Especially because apparently it has to do with Vlad the Impaler, and I took like an advanced English class my first semester of college, so that it was like 2 classes in one, so that instead of having to take 2 semesters of English that year, like you combined it into one class. And anyways, the term paper that I did, which was like 25 pages long, we got to pick any topic. And we had to decide on what the topic was going to be in October in order to like have time to write it and turn it into December. And I don't know, it was spooky season. I've always been interested in vampire stuff. So I decided to write my term paper on Vlad the Impaler. So anytime I get a little bit of, fiction involving that character, it's always interesting. Just picked that up. These are from Book Outlet. So I have 2 copies of Iron Flame. I also have 2 copies of Fourth Wing. And these are just the regular versions. You can see they've got the dots on them because of Book Outlet. The reason I got those, well, I'm just a massive Empyrean series fan. Actually, as of when I'm recording this, it is 11:57 p.m. on the 19th, and I'm going to a midnight release. So in about 24 hours, I will have Onyx Storm in my hands, and I cannot wait. But I have multiple editions, and I have some dust jackets that I want. There are 2 sets of dust jackets right now that I have my eye on. And so when I saw that Book Outlet had Fourth Wing and Iron Flame back in stock, I went ahead and picked them up there for cheaper. They were, I think, about $10 a piece, if I remember right. I went ahead and picked them up cheap because, I then have to buy the dust jackets for them. So that's where we're at with those. Okay, and then next up, we have Always and Forever, Lara Jean. P.S. I Still Love You. I kind of did this backwards to All the Ways I've Loved Before. Did that backwards, but anyways, I have not read these, but I adore the movies. I think they're so cute. I figured these were fairly cheap too at half-price books. I don't remember how much they were, but they had them all there and they were in good condition, so I figured, why not? Plus, they seem like they're going to be quick, easy reads. This is another one that I believe was in the clearance section, and it sounded interesting, looked interesting, so again, why the heck not? Curse of the Spectre Queen, Jenny Elder Moke, I'm assuming. Moke. So yeah, it's just on clearance. It's got a pretty cover. If anything, it'll, you know, look good sitting on the shelf. And it is the first of a series, I believe. I haven't like fully looked into it, but it's got, Elder Moat number 1. So we'll see. We'll see if it's any good. This one I already have. You can't tell. It's actually up on this shelf. Jesus, doing this backwards so hard. Up there. So I've got Hooked, both the regular paperback and the hardcover special edition, and then like When the Moon Hatched. What else is up there? Her Soul to Take, Gothicana, and A Fate Inked in Blood. So that's what's on this shelf. But right above it is this series of books. However, Beautiful Darkness, Beautiful Chaos, and Beautiful Redemption are all in this like metallic-y color, but my Beautiful Creatures wasn't. And it's been driving me nuts. And I've been looking for another version in store so that I could confirm that it was this like metallic print instead of just like the flat regular color. Because I bought it online and it came and it did match, and it's been driving me nuts, especially because like depending on how I have this done, if the camera is showing those books and the light's reflecting off of them, you can see all 3 except for Beautiful Creatures. So yeah, this one's a little crinkled. Maybe I'll find a better copy one day. But Half Price Books had it and it was metallic. So for right now, I can at least have a matching version. And then this one I was super excited to find. Been looking for this one there. Super, super excited to check this one out. And then this one, I have had my eye on this one for so long. Every time I'm in there, like it catches my eye and I go to it and I pick it up and I put it back down and pick it up and put it back down. And I don't know why. I don't know why I've like hesitated to get this. Maybe because I've not really heard anything about it. But you know what? It's been enough times now. And then normally, so like you can see this is kind of metallic-y. And I think this was the first time I had seen a version like this. Normally it's just like regular flat basic color. But this one was this like metallic color. And I even did the same thing in the store. I had it in my hand and I put it back and I wandered around for a little bit longer. And then I decided I was going to go get it. And then I was like, oh no, what if somebody took that metallic version? What if it's not there? Like I kind of had a moment of panic about it. And I thought, okay, well, that's clearly a sign I need to just get it. If like I'm panicking that somebody else might have gotten it before me, I'm just supposed to have it. And then this next one is another one that I've had my eye on several times. This one came from Book Outlet, and I've seen it on there so much. Comes up constantly, like in ads and stuff. And I finally just broke down and got it. So that's Heaven Breaker. Because again, if anything, it'll look good on the shelf with some pretty sprayed edges. And I mean, the cover's pretty too, because even this design, like it looks good on camera. And then even that's like really pretty. And then the inside is also really pretty. Assuming the back is the same. So yeah. I mean, and the story sounds interesting. I can't say that like the synopsis makes me like immediately want to read it, like put it to the top of my list. But it sounds intriguing enough that given like how pretty the book is and, that it was on Book Outlet, like, okay, why not? And they actually did this the right way. They put the dot on the bottom. It drives me nuts if they put it on the top. Oh, whatever. Okay, so the next stack, I think we're about halfway through. We've done 2 stacks and I have 2 to go. So the next stack, this is the same situation with Book Outlet. I've seen it a bunch of times. It keeps catching my eye. Even at Barnes & Noble, catches my eye, but just never quite brought myself to actually getting it until recently I finally broke down. And that's 5 Broken Blades. Kind of hard to see with the ring lights. I mean, it's gorgeous, especially like, look how like metallic-y those swords are, which is just awesome. And then of course, some of the prettiest sprayed edges. So, I don't know if I've looked at it to see if it does have foiling on the front. And then it does have some pretty end pages. And this one I do remember is the same on the front and the back, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, so. Okay, and this one will make sense given those books right there. And that's, of course, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Super excited for Sunrise on the Reaping, which I normally do audiobooks. Um, but now that I am at a house, because we just moved in here about a month ago, now that I'm at a house that has bookshelves, I can actually have books, physical ones. So yeah, I did read Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I just did the audiobook version. But now that we have a house with shelves, I can have the physical versions. Kind of the same thing for these. So you can see those white copies for Twilight series, although I am missing Twilight of those like white holiday ones. I can't find it. And I know I can buy the whole set brand new, but like, why would I only freaking need Twilight? But whatever. So I'm also getting the hardback versions. Now this one, I bought it and didn't realize I already owned it. I forgot that I'd already bought it. Yeah, this isn't the only book that I did that with in this book haul, by the way. There are 2 other books that I bought because I forgot that I had already ordered them. I bought them in Half Price Books because I forgot that I'd already ordered them on Book Outlet. And when I got home from my day of going around to Half Price Books, my Book Outlet shipment was there. And they were in there. This one, though, yeah, I'm going to keep this one, though, because this one is a first edition and my other one isn't. It's like a 20-something printing, but this one is a true first edition, so I will keep this one and do something with the other version I already had. And along those same lines, Midnight Sun. I did not have a physical copy of this, so I did need it for my Twilight collection. And then this one is another series that I have not read, but I am definitely interested in starting it. I don't even know what order these go in. I just saw them at the store and I grabbed them. So we've got part of the Red Queen series, Victoria Aveyard, I think is how you say her name. Warstorm, Glass Sword, and King's Cage. So these are all at Half Price Books, the hardback versions. So I went ahead and picked them up. I do have Red Queen on its way to me right now, but it's the paperback version. I bought it off of TikTok before I got these and decided I wanted the hardbacks. I wasn't going to get the hardbacks just because, again, it's another one where it's like a longer series and I wasn't sure if I was going to like it. So I thought, okay, I'll start with the paperback, read Red Queen, see if I like it. And if I do, then we'll go from there. But I saw these and they were cheap, so I kind of couldn't stop myself. This one was another one that was just on clearance and it looked and sounded interesting. So I just picked it up, Shadow of the Fox. Okay, so those are all of the hardbacks. So now we're going to get into the paperbacks. First up, we have Caraval, which is gorgeous. And then Legendary. And then Finale, which I think there's, like a holiday novella or something that goes with these. I got the impression that it was just kind of like a little bonus thing and that, like, this is the actual, like, true series. But let me know if the holiday novella is something that I should, like, definitely pick up if I find it in store or something. Spectacular, I think is what it's called. This one, those were all from Half Price Books. I found them all same store actually, so somebody must have just not liked it and just donated their whole set. This one I got from Book Outlet though, and I'm super excited to read it. So I actually, how I said at the beginning of this that I had another Book Outlet order coming. The other Book Outlet order has War and Death in it. They didn't have Famine, which I believe is the second book in the series. I don't know if they need to be read in order. I'm not sure. But anyways, I'm excited to read this one. It's fairly high on my TBR for this year. It is on my TBR for this year, for sure. And I think it will be read sooner rather than later, as in like within the next few months, as opposed to like later on in the year, because I am really excited to check it out. And this one is it is what it is. We listen, we don't judge. I've got 2 of those here. Um, I love the show Vampire Diaries, so I've been gathering the books as I've found them. Um, yeah, I'm not sure that I'm ever even gonna read them one day. I will probably just check them out, but I love the show, so and I keep finding them for cheap at half price books, so why the heck not? This one's another one I'm excited to check out, Priest. So, I actually didn't really have too many, like, smutty books in this haul, um, but I'm excited to read the ones I did get because dark romance and romantasy are, like, my 2 favorite genres, and the smuttier the better. Um, which you couldn't really tell that from this haul, but then we also got this one. Because listen, the movie is not the greatest thing to ever exist. I don't care. I don't watch that movie for the plot. I don't even watch that movie in its entirety. I just watch certain scenes over and over again. Um, and I don't know much about the book. I haven't really heard too many people talk about the actual book that it's based on, but we'll check it out. Again, it was one of those things that was there. Why not? So these are the other 2 books that I already had and didn't realize that I did. And that would be A Court of Thorns and Roses and A Court of Frost and Starlight. So I started randomly collecting, um, not collecting, but just gathering the series because I have gone through all the books. I just did them in audiobook form, and so I figured, okay, I'll get the physical books. I am not like a huge ACOTAR girly. It is not my favorite series. Like I enjoy it. I will continue reading it as they come out, whenever the hell that is. Um, and I did get when Audible was having their, like, massive Black Friday sale, I did get, like, the entire Throne of Glass series. So, like, I'm interested in continuing with that world, and I'll do Crescent City as well. But it's not I would not consider myself an ACOTAR girly, I just wouldn't. So, like, I wasn't, I was just like, as I find them, 'em, I'll get them, no big hurry." But then, everywhere started putting the set on sale for, like, 35 bucks or something, and I should have just done that. But now I have everything except for A Court of Silver Flames, including 2 copies of A Court of Thorns and Roses and A Court of Frost and Starlight because, yeah, I forgot I'd ordered them on Book Outlet when I bought them at Half Price Books. And here's another one. I've seen recommended a couple of times. I haven't, like, heard a ton of talk about it. But yeah, a few times, so why not? And then we're down to the last 3 books. And these are all a bit odd, but so in keeping with my loving vampires and loving shows about vampires and collecting books about or books that shows about vampires are based on, we've got an omnibus for some of the True Blood books. So this one's Dead Until Dark, Living Dead in Dallas, and Club Dead, which I realize is not the start of the series. I don't have the start of the series, but I saw this and it was like $7 or something. It's in fairly rough shape. But it's there. I do love this show. And I'll work on getting the ones at the beginning and then maybe checking out the actual series. And then this is my other main We Listen, We Don't Judge. If you've watched other unboxings or book hauls on this, then this won't be a surprise. Another show or books that are, revolved around a show. So Supernatural is my favorite show of all time. All time. Dean Winchester is my favorite fictional character of all time. Our dog is named Winchester. I love him. I love the show. And I have not read the books yet, but I am collecting them. There's 17 of them, and I think this is my 4th or 5th one. We're working on it. Again, I've only been, not again, but I've only really started gathering books since we moved into this place, like the beginning of December-ish, because I started buying them a little before we actually got the house in anticipation of getting it. So we're about a month and a half into me collecting. So I've only found like four, I believe, out of the 17. But they're all out of print, so they're not super easy to find. And this one I love. So this is a version of Pride and Prejudice. It's got like silver foiled edges. It's so pretty in person. And I cannot tell you how heavy this tiny little book is. It is heavier It is probably almost the same weight as this book, which is fucking massive. This fucking 720 something page book that is huge. This tiny little thing weighs almost as much. I don't know why. I don't know why it's so heavy. It just is. But it's also super pretty, and I hesitate to say I use the word collect Pride and Prejudice editions because I don't really. It's just if I happen to see an edition of Pride and Prejudice that's like pretty or unique, I'll pick it up. And so you can't see it. I'm actually kind of sitting right in front of it. It's on the shelf below my Hunger Games ones. I've got several there. I have two. I have like one. Um, it's not real leather, like faux leather bound complete collection of Jane Austen works. And then I have a set of, her full works, but then I have like several just random versions of Pride and Prejudice. Because I do love Pride and Prejudice. So that's everything. That is all 38, I believe, books that I've gotten since the last book haul, which I just put out on YouTube like last week. I think I bought 50-ish books in January so far this year. And we're not done. We're not done. I will be getting at least 3 more, and they're all going to be Onyx Storm. Because, yeah, I'm going to the midnight release. So I'll get that one from Barnes & Noble. I will find a Target edition. I have to. And then I'm going to her book tour stop in St. Louis, and you get a signed copy there as well. So I'll have 3 more books, but they'll all be the same book. Yeah. So that's where we're at. How has your January been in terms of books? And let me know with this list that I did here. If you've read any of those, if you've enjoyed them, what you thought about them, what book you would recommend, based off of my interests here, any of the things. Let's just chat in the comments. TikTok did come back today, but it might only be for 90 days. So let's start chatting about books on other platforms, especially here on YouTube. Just want to hear from you. So leave them in the comments below, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.